Yo, it's me, Mr. Red Fox, with another episode of BS Busters. Depending on how this podcast goes, this might be the normal schedule for BS Busters. We'll do Sunday from henceforth 7 to 8:30. But before we get further into the nitty-gritty of the administrative details, I'll have the other panelists introduce themselves. Go ahead, sir. Introduce yourself.
My name is Kanashi Abominito, and I think I'm almost done with Shovel Knight.
That's a good game. This is Mr. Red Fox, and I just beat like 3 indie games this weekend. Well, Friday and Saturday, because Sunday isn't over yet. So, and I'm quite happy about that. I beat Skylar and Plux and the Adventure on Clover Island, which feels like a weird bastard child of Jack and Dexter and Ratchet and Clank, but on PC. I finally beat.
What is it? What is that game again? Jack and Dexter clone?
Basically, it's like Jack and Dexter and Ratchet and Clank had a baby, and that baby came out like 10 years after those games were relevant, and on PC. And that's Skylar and Plux. It's very Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Dexter-ish. Even some of the special moves you do are very Jack and Dexter-ish. I beat The Swindle, finally, which is an old game from like 2013 or maybe 2014, where you basically, it's randomly, you play this thief who has 100 days to work up to breaking into a highly secured police station and steal this thing called the Devil's Basilisk, which will enable the police which will give the police the ability to predict crimes before they happen, so that thieves can't make a living. So basically, you work yourself up from like stealing from warehouses up to banks and casinos in order to get enough money in order to upgrade yourself so that you can do the final heist, which is the swindle, where you steal the basilisk, and so that the police can't wipe out all crime. And it's really hard because initially you get no money, so you have to grind, and like the controls kind of suck, and like you're really weak. Like even when you upgrade yourself, you're really weak. Like you have to basically cling the wall, stay out of sight, use like basically the equivalent to smoke bombs, set off mines. Like you have to use your environment in secondary ways to take on enemies because you're very fragile. So kind of hard. Beat it. So happy I beat it, and finally beat Ukulele. 100%ed it. Found all 125 pages. Pages.
Did you do it without a guide, or did you do it with a guide?
I used a guide to find out the stuff that I was missing, but I didn't use the guide to find it. It's like okay, I have 97%. I'm missing some things, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'm missing these. Okay, and then like I went and looked for it. It wasn't like I was like, okay, I'm missing this. Okay, let me go over here and do the walkthrough. But it was just stuff that I knew I was missing. So, but no, I wasn't like doing everything lockstep with what was missing. But yeah, it was yeah. I mean, I'm trying to clear a lot of the games that I've been playing, because I know when I get Disgaea later on this week, I'm going to be like grinding into that. So I'm getting other stuff out the way so I can play that. And unfortunately, between work and school, I haven't had time to really be working on a lot of the videos I was planning on doing in May. But I have a free day coming up next week, a 3-day weekend with Memorial Day. So I'll that weekend I'll definitely grind out some videos that you'll be getting in June from me. But
my schedule is gonna be weird. Like I'll have like 2 days off, and I'll work Saturday, and I'll have Sunday off.
Damn.
It's really weird.
Man, I'm telling you, man, there's a reason I swore to myself I would never work in retail ever again or any type of service industry. And that's weird because I own a barcade, but I own 3 locations, which is, I mean, really is a service industry, but like on the lower levels, I'm like, no, never again, never again. But I feel you, man. I feel you. But with all that out the way, let's get into the topics of the evening, the afternoon, the week, whatever. And it's very simple. We're just going to talk about our E3 predictions for well, this E3. We're not going to talk about Nintendo so much. We'll try to steer clear from that, but we will be talking about Microsoft, Sony, and third parties, and what we might touch upon what they might be doing at the PC show, which is going to be running concurrently with the with the other one. So who wants to go? You want to give your prediction for Microsoft first, or shall we do Sony?
Microsoft is going to go on and they're going to harp about their new Scorpio. We'll get the official name of it because it seems like the prototype names are always cooler than the consumer name.
Yeah, the Xbox 720 sounded better than the Xbox One.
Yeah, it made more sense. Although the Xbox 720 didn't make a lot of sense, but it made more sense. Let's see. They're gonna show probably a teaser for Halo 6.
Yeah, but it's not coming out until next year.
Yeah, we're not gonna freaking the 6th Halo game. Holy crap. Let's see what else. They're gonna show a lot of third-party stuff.
Obviously,
we're not gonna see any deals or anything like that, like big third-party deals, because they're not the lead platform. So we're definitely not gonna see that.
And they don't have the money. They don't have the money to money hat any special deals.
They might do a little bit of the circle jerking, and when they show the Scorpion, give it its official name, they're gonna show what the game can do. You're gonna see like crazy particle effects and frame rate and 4K resolutions and all that other stuff. Because we gotta waste time with that. We gotta kill time with that, I guess. Because we're not gonna actually see any real games running on the system. We're just gonna see a bunch of tech demos. Say, oh, look what this thing can do. It's like, okay, that's cool and all. What about the games? Anyway, so we'll probably see a lot of Scorpio Splash or whatever it's Xbox One X. I don't know what it's going to be called. I guarantee the name's going to be real dumb though. Yeah, the name's going to be real dumb. We're going to see a lot of games. Probably some big third-party games, and maybe some like CGI-ish trailers that say running on Scorpio natively. That little splash they usually have. This is natively running on the PS4 or the Xbox One. And it's actually running on a dev kit, which are usually more powerful than the consumer systems, so they can kind of get away with that, I guess.
Either that, or it's going to just be running on PC, and they'll say it's in-engine gameplay, and it's just running on PC. It's in-engine gameplay. Yeah, okay,
yeah. It's either like PC or a dev kit,
which is a PC. Like even the dev kits are a PC. Yeah, it's all PC.
Yeah.
Unless I come out there and the dude has some shit in his hand and the wire run into the console and the console run into a projector or a TV, I don't believe it.
Yeah, see, the thing is, like, it's gonna be a PC regardless. If it has the Xbox One brand, if it's a dev kit, then they can get away with saying running on Xbox, because then it'd be technically running on an Xbox, except something a bit more powerful than your consumer versions. They do this all the time, it seems like.
Yeah, they love to do that. Yeah,
they
love lying to people.
We're probably gonna see Crackdown 3. I don't know how. I don't know if anybody actually still cares about that game, but I'm probably gonna see that game running on Scorpio, and we'll hear hardly anything about it on the vanilla Xbox. And when it comes out, well, they'll probably quietly shove that version under the rug, or yeah, it's on Xbox One, but the Scorpio, baby, the Scorpio.
I don't think they can afford, because I don't think the Scorpio is going to sell as well as people think. Matter of fact, I'm relatively positive that the Scorpio isn't going to sell as well as people think. Like I think it's going to bomb.
This is my prediction. It will sell to those that it needs to sell to, and that's it. Like it's essentially gonna bomb, but they're gonna sell it to those people they need to sell it to. That's the quote unquote hardcore gaming enthusiasts, which makes no sense because they already have their PCs.
Exactly. Like Microsoft says they're creating the Scorpio to go for that hardcore crowd. But here's the thing, the most hardcore gamers in terms of graphics and graphical fidelity and all that stuff, they have a PC. So like why would someone with a PC spend $399 for your thing that inevitably, even if it's stronger than the PC build they have right now, they can spend $200 next year or the year after next and get something that blows the Xbox Scorpio out of the water. And they don't have to pay for your shitty online services. Like I don't see the point. I mean, I'm not a genius, but I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what that's like? It's like back in the day, when VCRs were still really expensive, you could rent them.
Yeah.
Right? You could rent a VCR. Basically, the Xbox Scorpio is basically like saying, hey guys, why don't you rent this VCR? But I have a VCR at my house. Not only do I have a VCR, but it's a VCR DVD/Blu-ray combo. So I can play my entire old library of VCRs, plus I can play DVDs and Blu-rays. And guess what? It also has streaming. Why should I rent your VCR when I got something way better at my house?
Well, the thing is, a lot of I think this is going to be sold to the pretend PC gamers. The PC,
the faux PC gamers.
Yeah, the faux PC. This is what this thing is for. It's what the Pro is for. And the thing is, there's not a lot of those people around.
Yeah, because the Pro flopped too. So I mean,
and plus they want to use this whole cell phone strategy, but cell phones are more of a day-to-day item. Like
they're practical. They have practical use.
Yeah, they have practical uses. Where a console really doesn't. It's more of it's an entertainment device first and foremost.
Yep. But don't talk about that. He's talking about reality. What's wrong with you, man? We don't talk about reality around here. We're fanboys. I guess I'll give my predictions for Microsoft's E3. I agree with you. They're going to talk about the Scorpio, and their tagline is probably going to be power. This is the most powerful console ever. So powerful. It's 12 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah.
They're gonna talk specs. Then they're gonna show some games that look marginally better than what's running on the Xbox One, or the PS4, or on PC, and people are gonna be like, "Really?
Yeah.
This is what you're going with?" The Xbox fanboys are gonna be ecstatic with joy with it, though. They're just gonna roll with it because they're Xbox fans, and you know what? They need a win. The Xbox fans need a win. Okay, they really need They desperately need a win. Okay. Do you understand?
We're arguing over two consoles that are pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, they need a win. Okay. And so, you know what? I'm going to let them have the win. They need it. They desperately need that win. I'm going to let them have it. Not because they deserve it, but because they desperately need it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they're like a football coach who just like their team has been the shittiest year over year over year. I mean, basically the Xbox is the Red Sox. Okay, it's the Boston Red Sox of gaming consoles. Okay, because even when it was on top, it wasn't really on top. And, you know, they need a win, and I'm going to let them have it. You know what? The Xbox One is going to be it's going to be the best console ever. It's going to be powerful. It's going to have tons of exclusive games you can only play on that system. They're going to bring back Scalebound. Cuphead's going to be, they're going to talk about Cuphead at their E3 event, and all those other games they canceled. They're going to be working on a Fable. They're bringing back Blank's the Time Cat.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna stop being so overly optimistic and just there you go, folks. That's all we know.
Yeah, that's the first of the clone.
So then we'll use the shadow clone jutsu and go to the second clone, Sony. I'll let you get Sony first because you know.
Sony's gonna be long and boring. I ain't gonna watch it.
I'm not watching it either. I'll just watch the highlights.
If I were to sit and watch a 90-minute conference of watching people, actually, that's like their conferences are long. It's like 2-3 hours. Watching people who aren't pretending to be enthusiastic about games, but they don't really want to be there. I've noticed that at Sony conferences, they're like. They pretend to be enthusiastic about what they're doing, but you're like, I don't really want to be here.
Yeah, they're so disingenuous. Yeah. They're like, clap. Like, it's like, do you have a gun to these people's family forcing them to clap? They so don't look like they want to be there. Like, even the journalists look like they don't want to be there. They're like, you know what, I'm getting a free PS4 out of this, but is it worth it? Is it really worth it? You know, that's how they look.
Clap for me, you pieces of shit, or else I'll kill your kitten.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, or even worse, they pick up their baby girl's favorite stuffed animal and they got a gun to the stuffed animal's head. Look, clap, or this bunny rabbit gets it. You better clap. Cover up. And they just they're like, okay, we're clapping. But Sony's gonna show some more exclusive games. Like it's all gonna be third-party stuff. They might show some first-party stuff, but like they're gonna hype up Knack 2. They're like, we fixed a lot of the issues. No, you didn't. Because Mark Cerny hasn't made a good game in years. The last good one he made was Spyro the Dragon. Yeah. I didn't say 2 or 3. I just said the first one. So, they're going to hype up Knack 2 and some other games that no one cares about. And they might talk about Final Fantasy VII. I mean, here's the thing. A lot of the things Sony's going to show is going to be, as we all know, are going to be, games that are multi-plats, but they're going to pretend that they're Sony exclusives. You know what I mean?
And they're gonna plug Destiny 2 like a mother.
Yeah,
you're gonna see Destiny 2 every freaking where.
I have a friend who has played Destiny 2 on PC, and really the best way to play that game is on PC.
Yeah.
PC is the best way to play Destiny 2. And if that game has cross-game servers, which it probably won't, but if it did, oh my God, PC players are going to rip console players a new one. It's going to be ridiculous. And since there are no There are no dedicated servers for Destiny 2, which tells you how fucking cheap Activision is.
That means they're probably gonna.
It's all peer to peer, yeah. It's all gonna be peer to peer.
The thing about Destiny 2 and PC is I can already see the expectations that are gonna happen.
Yeah, and modding.
And modding and all that other stuff.
Doesn't like if someone mods the single player, I don't care. Like, because I mean, you paid $60 plus for the damn game. You might as well be able to customize it the way you want.
People don't seem too happy with Destiny 2. Like, they're gonna buy it. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're still gonna pick it up. They're still gonna purchase it day one, but not a lot of thrill. Not a lot of thrill or excitement over Destiny 2. Because you know why? It looks just like Destiny 1. Except they put a 2.
It looks just like Destiny 1. Well, it should. They're using the same engine. Like, here's the thing. Destiny was a really good idea, poorly executed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like had they kept their original idea for the story, it probably would have been awesome. But because they got scared, because this is obviously that's how they roll sometimes.
All I gotta say is, for the love of God, anybody who's interested in Destiny 2, don't pre-order it. Just wait. Just wait. You'll get Destiny, the Ultra Puncher, get punched in the face edition next year. So
Man, they ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna. People are gonna buy that shit regardless because people are. I'm sorry, gamers just don't. Gamers don't think. Gamers don't think. They just do things willy-nilly.
The thing is, I'm kind of over the whole loot-based RPGs at the moment. I might get an itch for it some point down the road, but right now it's just like, nah.
The itch has been scratched.
Yeah. I played enough of Diablo 3 and Borderlands 2 to be like,
Yeah. Like for me, Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2. I didn't get the pre-sequel because, they're like, well, now you can play as Handsome Jack. Why would I want to play as that asshole? I don't of all the characters to play as, why would I want to play as someone who literally in Borderlands 2, you kill him. He's one of the greatest villains to kill because it's like, I hate you. I hate this guy. I hate him so very much.
Yeah.
I could kill you 1,000 times and it still wouldn't be enough, you bastard.
Yeah.
Sorry, not a Handsome Jack fan. Sorry.
It was very annoying.
It wasn't so much that. It was just he killed Roland, and Roland was like my main in Borderlands 1. He was like my favorite character. He killed my favorite character, and for that, there's only one thing that I could do. That's kill you, because he killed my favorite, like the one black guy in Borderlands. You kill the one black guy. Seriously?
Yeah.
Now you have to die. That's the penalty. So, I mean, Sony, like I said, they're gonna. Oh shit! We're joined by the doctor. Doctor, how's it going?
Pretty good, man.
All right, we were talking about Sony and how they were gonna talk at their E3, obviously about a lot of their quote unquote exclusives that are actually also on the X. Like they're gonna, how Sony over the 8th gen has basically hyped up games like and made it seem like marketing wise it was only going to be on Sony platforms, but it's actually a multi-plat.
Yeah, I know. Destiny, prime example.
Yeah, Destiny. What was that other game they did that with? I forgot, but I mean a whole bunch of them. Call of Duty. The way they were marketing Call of Duty, you thought Call of Duty Infinite Warfare was only on the PS4, which was ridiculous.
Yep. To me, it's worked well for them, but I honestly think it's not going to continue to work. I don't think it can. Plus, with Sony doing that, they're hemorrhaging money. They can't keep affording to do this. And to me, I think the only reason that these third-party companies are even allowing it is because Sony's the only one willing to cut them a check, no matter how big or small. Because they definitely are not cutting the same check Microsoft was cutting back on the 7th gen. Nope. Microsoft had blank checks they were writing.
Yep.
So it's like they're willing to take anything now, but in the third party's minds, I think their whole thing is if someone's willing to pay us for something we will actually be willing to do for free, if they were wise, let's just go ahead and take their money too.
Yeah. I mean, I can't get mad. You were going to say something, Kenoshi?
I was going to say the thing about Sony is the only reason they have all this stuff. They're getting all these deals is because they're the lead platform. You know, they have more units out there. So third parties are going to go to them, you know, trying to entice them because they have, you know, like 50, 60 million consoles out there. But I don't know how many people are actually playing games on a consistent basis on this thing. Percentages of people who are playing games on a percentage. I think like 20, 30 million.
Not as many as you might think.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we already know that from surveys that most of the people who bought a PS4 are getting 1 or 2 games a year and streaming, just Netflix, and Hulu and Amazon. Like, that's the rest of what, and I mean, that's unsustainable. We know that Sony released the PS4 Pro and the VR, and those ain't doing those are not doing that well. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're gonna have to do something. They're gonna have to do something. I personally, I think they're gonna bring out Yu Suzuki again, and he's gonna talk. Like they might show some more footage of Shenmue 1 and 2 remastered. and then catfish people and say, "Oh, but he's working on Shenmue 3 because it worked so well last year." Remember, people had tears in their eyes because of Shenmue.
Maybe somebody tell me what's so special about this game when we have other games like that are better. So much better.
Yeah, like I like, you know what it is that Shenmue is one of those games that just kind of like Shenmue is not that good, but it was so different from anything we had seen before that people just kind of like gravitate towards it. But in my opinion, Shenmue, like Sega has done better than Shenmue. I mean, Yakuza's so much. Yakuza takes the idea that Shenmue started, runs with it, makes it fun. Like you actually have fun doing a side job.
Yeah.
Like one of the side jobs, and I think in Yakuza 4, is that you can basically become an actor in this samurai drama, or you can become a bouncer in a hostess club, or you can become like the leader of like the neighborhood watch association and track down this white slaver guy. I mean, like fun stuff. And you have the walking around doing random stuff. You have the arcade machines from Shenmue, but you also have a combat system that's way more fun than Shenmue.
Well, I have a quick question, and I'm not sure if you guys can answer, but do we know what Sony has confirmed thus far will be at E3?
No, we don't know. I mean, there's a few things that are like that they're talking about that like when it's this close to E3 and they're talking about it, it's probably going to be there. Like we know that they were hyping up, they're making a sequel to Knack because you know everyone's begging for a sequel to Knack, and like we know that like there's a lot of third-party exclusives or multi-plats that they're probably going to hype up, like our Final Fantasy VII remake and shit. It slipped my mind. Oh well. Oh, Kingdom Hearts 3. They're gonna hype the shit out of that.
Regarding Kingdom Hearts 3, look, and Of course, I like the franchise. I have the first two games, even the collector strategy guide. I have also the 1.5 and 2.5 HD for the PS3. Not getting for the PS4. But anyway, um, I'm not hating on the franchise at all. Like I say, I like it. But if you're still waiting on that game and you expect it to come this year, it's not. If you expect it to come next year, it will be holiday at best. I'm just telling you guys, it's a long ways off. And I think that when you finally get it, you really won't be impressed. I think both Final Fantasy VII Remake. Well, I think for both Final Fantasy VII Remake as well as Kingdom Hearts 3, let's just say, and I'm not saying they are, but let's just say these games are really in development and they're at least halfway done. Okay, let's just say that. All right. The intention of these games was literally to generate hype and buzz for years to come, because those are the two most talked about sequels that any PlayStation 2 fan has been waiting for since PS2.
That's true.
And since the PS2 is still the highest selling gaming console of all time, home console, those are a lot of people. Sony was smart. Those are a lot of people, potential fans, potential customers waiting for that. I feel confident in saying at least about half that fan base bought a PS3 just because they were wanting those sequels. And since they didn't come to the PS3, we're now on the PS4 and PS4 Pro. I'm telling you, those same fans are still waiting for those two games. So they were really mentioned to keep you guys interested and keep you buying Sony platforms. This is my opinion. I have no proof or evidence of this. And to me, when these games come, they're going to be good, but underwhelming compared to the amount of time you waited for them.
Yeah, because they waited too long to get them out. Like, I mean, but this has happened to many games. This happened to Duke Nukem Forever. This happened to an extent, Final Fantasy 15. Basically, you can have a game in development for so long that it just for some reason it loses its luster. People get tired of dealing with it. They get tired of waiting all the time, and I think that's what's happening right now with the with this new system. I mean, with this system. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. Your thoughts, Kenoshi?
Yep, I think people are going to be pretty disappointed with the outcome of when those games released. I definitely agree.
I mean, look at Final Fantasy 15. I mean, I've heard many people say it's actually a good game, but is it what you would expect? Is it worth all the hype we've endured for a decade? No.
Nope.
That game was in development hell for like 10 years. Longer than that, like really 15 years. Like it can't be that good.
No, people talk about fun. And people, I don't really hear people talk about or making like recollection videos on Final Fantasy 15. Like, oh, this is a masterpiece of masterpieces as it pertains to Final Fantasy 15.
This has changed the way I think about everything.
It's like, no, I don't see anybody making videos about that. I see people saying, yeah, it's a pretty good game.
It's not terrible.
Exactly. But what do we know? And I don't mean to go off on a tangent. I do apologize. But what have gamers like us come to expect from Final Fantasy? Each iteration has actually been good. The only time when it started slacking was basically, I would say, after 10, which is the last one Hironobu Sakaguchi was involved in directly. 12 was decent. But basically, every game after 10, I would say, okay, after 12, it hasn't been great. So 12, of course, it came 13. 12 was okay. But after 10, there was a downfall. 12 was okay.
13
was garbage. I did like the concept of a female protagonist, but she was like basically a female version of Cloud.
Yep.
And to me, it's like great concept, but at the same
Bad
time,
execution.
we did not need exactly another Cloud-like character. You could have given her different traits, but she was really the female version of Cloud all over.
Yep. I
and
mean,
not nearly as interesting.
well, not even that. It's like we've had female protagonists in Final Fantasy. I mean, like Terra was arguably the main character in Final Fantasy VI. Terra is a way more interesting character than Lightning. I know some people are going to get mad at me, but I don't care. There were, Final Fantasy V, there was Lena and Ferris. Arguably, Lena and Ferris are like the main, they're one of the main characters of the game, and they're both, Ferris pretends that she's a dude, but they're both females. And then one of the male protagonists dies, and his granddaughter takes his place. So, I mean, like, we've had Final Fantasies with female protagonists who aren't waiting to be saved and save the world and are heroes and all that stuff. So it's kind of weird that they're kind of like, well, it doesn't exist now. That people are acting like Lightning is the one who started that trend, which is a little annoying.
I would have to agree. And now back to Sony's potential E3. I'm not sure what to expect. I have a PS4, a PS3, PS2, and PS1, and I'm just saying I like Sony consoles. But I'm not sure what to expect from their E3. I don't really see what they could bring that, either we don't already know about, or that will be different from what we already have. The Killzone game, maybe, or is it going to be or the Uncharted DLC? What can they bring that we wouldn't see coming that would really be exclusive to their console? I'm not saying seemingly exclusive. I mean truly exclusive, because
I told you they're making that neck too, man.
To me, showing off games that are actually going to appear on other platforms, that's a fail.
Well, it's disingenuous because you're basically lying to consumers. But I mean, they've all lied to consumers. I mean, it's sad, but they do it all the time, which is ridiculous because that's not good. I mean, if you have to lie to your consumers about what they're getting, your product must be garbage.
Yep.
I mean, even if your product isn't that good, like I'd rather get the truth from people because you're expecting me to buy your product. I want to be, it's like I'll give it to Microsoft with the original Xbox. They were upfront and told you everything that was with that. They told you about the online DRM. They told you about the always on connect. They told you about it still isn't physically backwards compatible with your 360 library games. They told you all that day one in your face, okay? And I'll give them credit. They were, look, if you're gonna screw me over, tell me to my face, so then I can prepare myself. I know what I'm getting into. But Sony was kind of sneaky with it. They were like, well, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna have DRM. Yeah, DRM.
You had to say it like that. I mean, true. But like I say, folks, this is not me hating on Sony. Okay. I probably bought all the games you guys haven't purchased, such as The Last Guardian. Okay. Honestly, not hating here. I'm just wondering what they're going to bring that I hadn't seen before, or that won't be available on the Xbox One, or better yet, the Switch.
You know what they're going to bring out? I just had a thought. They're going to bring out that guy. They're going to bring out Yu Suzuki from last year. He's going to show off some demo footage of Shenmue 3, and then all will be forgiven.
Please don't. No.
Except he's also going to ask for some more money.
Okay. Now, I want to clarify on this. What did he ask for before? Was it like 2 million? Then went to 5 million or something like that?
It was, he asked for 5 million. He got 2 million. Like, he's like,
And that was for like a lackluster experience. I think it was like different tiers. He's like, he wanted to offer other stuff.
Yeah, he's like, well, we can have, like, here's the thing. This is a guy, like, the reason he had to leave Sega was because Shenmue was a budget failure. It was like 90 million of like 2000s money, okay? Which now is like 150 million. Like, he went so over budget for a game that sold less than, I think it's an initial run, less than 1 million. Like, Shenmue was like, you would trust that guy with a budget? Really? I mean, seriously, that's breaking news. This has nothing to do with video games or anything like that. I just thought this was ironic to share with you guys. A hunter dies after an elephant falls on him. A big game hunter died on Friday afternoon during a hunt in Guay when a member of his group fired at a storming elephant cow and the animal fell on him.
What the hell?
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. Like, you shouldn't be hunting elephants anyway, and the fact that one killed you by falling on you is funny. Look, if you hadn't been out there trying to shoot any elephants, you'd probably still be alive.
Yeah, then fucked up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look, listen. Look, you want to know why you don't hear about black folks in Africa always getting killed by wild animals? It happens, but it's rare because they know not to mess with certain creatures. There's leopards over there. I ain't going over there. Leopards kill people. I ain't doing it. I'm gonna stay right here in this village with my wild dogs to keep me safe. In my hut with my acacia thorn fences, I'll be fine. There are cases of people using acacia thorn bushes in Africa to stave off lion attacks. This has actually happened. I wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't go there because I stay away from things that can kill me easily. But yeah, but back to the topic at hand, you're right. Like, I don't know what Sony could show that would really wow people, but we know they're going to try. But here's my question to both of you gentlemen. Do you think they'll mention anything about PSVR?
Being that it's a monumental flop, I don't think so.
How about the Pro? Do you think they're going to mention anything about the PS Pro? Or are they going to still try and push that?
They're going to still try to push that because for them, they put a lot of money into pushing 4K. They want the PS4 Pro to also help sell their 4K television in the same way that Sony used CDs on the PS to push the PS1 and DVD playback on the PS2 to push the sale of DVD players and things like that. But basically, it's to rope you in as a consumer. And the PS3 was Blu-ray, and PS4 is also Blu-ray. But the PS4 Pro, it's promising people 4K, although it's not really 4K in any way, shape, or fashion. At least not native. Yeah. But they're trying to sell TVs with it. And with that said, hell, even when the PS4 Pro came out, remember there was an update that people said it worked prior to the update, but then once the update came out, it made it to where like only Sony televisions didn't have issues, connecting and getting 4K out of it, 4K display.
So they broke it so that you had to buy their TVs.
Well, you could actually you could tweak it to make it to where it will work with any non-Sony television. But of course, Sony's not going to tell you, well, we made a patch to make to where it will complicate any other TV but our own. But that's basically what they did.
That sounds like a Sony move, though. Wouldn't put it past them.
I can see them taking basically everything they can. They're going to announce a whole bunch of PS4 Pro patches releasing to current games. Maybe I can see them doing that. I can see them saying, guess what? We finally got a PS4 Pro patch for this game that came out 3 years ago. So now you can play it in stunning native 4K.
Yeah. The only thing is you have to have a 4K TV. And if you don't, it's useless. It's totally useless. Yep. So Kenoshi, you think they're gonna go with that?
Yeah, I think they're gonna push 4K.
They're just gonna keep on rolling with it.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, well, this is all speculation. So, but what you guys are saying, you're actually making logical points, and you've convinced me that probably is the case. More likely than not, that's probably what's going to happen, because I mean, we've all been gaming for a while, and we can see trends in how certain things are done.
Let's not forget about PlayStation Now.
Oh God! Oh yes, they're gonna hype the hell out of that garbage ass system.
Because instead of doing emulated backwards compatibility, they're doing that instead.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep it real. I say this about the PS4, the Xbox One. Look, I would rather you take out the ability for the thing to play Blu-ray and DVDs and Blu-ray and have actual backwards compatibility than drop backwards compatibility and have Blu-ray. Because with streaming, you don't need Blu-ray is rendered useless unless here's the thing: the people who really want to watch things on Blu-ray have a Blu-ray player. They aren't getting a PS4; they actually have an actual Blu-ray player or one of those awesome Blu-ray streaming combo things. So I mean, like the average person who just wants to watch a movie, they have Hulu, Netflix, or Amazon Prime, or whatever. They have access to thousands of shows and hundreds of thousands of movies. Why are they so caught up on Blu-ray? I'll never understand it. But I could be wrong. Who knows? So I guess we're almost done here. Let's see. The next we have a question, but we'll do the question first, and then we'll wrap up with whatever else is left. This is from Eric Maverick. I know that Nintendo said they'll focus on 2017 games, but do you think that they'll give us one teeny tiny tease of their next project schedule for 2018 at this year's E3?
Personally, I think it's a hell to the no. Let me tell you why. What did that do for them in the Wii U? When they would show games that were more than a year out, what did that do for them? We were initially happy, like, oh yeah, we got Xenoblade Chronicles X coming, we got this game coming, Zelda, and then people got pissed off because we didn't get those games for another 2 or 3 years down the line. Now you may be thinking, well, this is only 1 year though, or maybe a year and a half. Even still, we got mad at Nintendo for continuously showing us, game footage, whether it be new footage or slightly different. Every event or every E3 or every direct, they would show us new footage announced 2-3 years back, and fans they let them know they didn't like that. When they reveal Xenoblade Chronicles X, and then when we get it, they revealed that game like 3 years prior to its release, and although it had us all hype as hell, do we like the wait? Hell no.
That's a good answer.
So I mean, and look at Breath of the Wild. When they finally showed us Breath of the Wild, what was that, E3 2014? That one trailer.
Yeah, we lost our minds.
We just got the game 2 months ago. Yeah.
But it was worth it. It was worth the wait. It was worth the wait. But I get what you're saying. But I mean, the Wii U was I think the Wii U was a distinctly different beast than what we've seen before from Nintendo, and just how it was doing. I think they pretty much had to move things back and move things around, just because of the nature of how it was selling and how well it was doing, and how well it wasn't doing. But I have to agree overall that you're right. They aren't going to show us anything beyond this year. Although I do think there will be some surprises of games that we thought would be for next year might come out this year. Like I think Xenoblade 2 might hit this year.
I actually think Xenoblade 2 is going to definitely hit this year. I think, and I say that because this is not me being a fanboy, but let's just say with the Switch, Nintendo has learned everything not to do when it comes to the Wii U.
Yeah.
The Wii U, was a great console, but there were mistakes on both sides. And let me describe that. Well, no, I would say one side. Nintendo was wrong to trust third parties.
Yep.
That's now I can blame third parties all day, but I blame Nintendo for trusting them because you really couldn't trust them with the Wii, but they were there because the money was there. You definitely can trust with the GameCube or the N64. Yamauchi knew this, so to me, it's Nintendo's fault they even trusted the third parties to begin with the Wii U. They should have came out the door swinging, ready to support their own console straight from the jump. But there were a lot of mistakes made with the Wii U on their part. All those mistakes, don't think Nintendo hasn't been paying attention. The Wii U was a failure to them, although they made a lot of money off of it, but it's still a failure to them. And if you look at the Switch, what mistakes had they made with the Switch that were the same as the Wii U?
Nothing. They had all their ducks lined in a row. Good marketing. I think they have games in the pipeline to support it. So, if third parties don't get on board, F them. Nintendo's going to make a way out of no way. They'll do it themselves,
Exactly. We have literally seen Nintendo release a new game for the Switch almost every week since launch, whether it be an indie title or mid-tier or even AAA. We have seen some type of game release every single week, if not multiple, since launch.
Yeah.
And across virtually all genres. The only genre we haven't got yet is what? Shooter. But Splatoon is coming.
Yeah.
But they're not making any Wii U mistakes here. They're not. Some people may say, well, they got the friend codes back. It's one of 4 ways to add friends. Get over it. It's not the only way, like with the Wii.
Yeah.
But to me, going back to your question, I mean, I think we're going to get Xenoblade 2 this year because they learned, don't announce something if it's going to take years. Because we were actually getting pissed off about Breath of the Wild. It got delayed twice.
Yep.
And this is when they actually gave us concrete times. They said it would come 2015. It didn't come. They said it would come 2016. Then they said, well, no, we're not focused on that. We got it 2017 because they want to make a port for the Switch. Nintendo has learned, if you're going to give them a date, we got to keep it because all it's going to do is piss people off. Because even though it's a small amount, in the grand scheme of things, there are some fans that are waiting for that specific game and they're going to buy your console based on that game. And they get ready to go buy that game. They're ready to shell out the money for it. And you say, it's delayed. Guess what? You potentially lost a sale.
Well,
completely
not just that. Look at all the uptick. What no one's talking about. Yeah, people are talking about how people are buying the Switch for this is Breath of the Wild. People aren't telling you all the Breath of the Wilds that got sold for the Wii U. A lot of them.
A whole lot.
I mean, that was that game was a guaranteed sell for that system. So, and people are buying used ones to get the game. Some idiots are actually going and emulating it, but.
So, me personally, I think this is a Nintendo that we will rarely, if at all, here going forward, see any delays in games being released. Because, in fact,
I think we got delays, but we won't know about it. I think there will be games that will be delayed, but we won't know about it. They just won't announce them. You will never know the game got delayed. So they might have some stuff that, like, if the schedule's looking too full right now, because they need to support something over a long period of time and not just proverbially blow your stack in the first year. They might have to move, but we won't know about it because they won't announce it. Like, if they don't think they can get it out, or if it's something that's not like a top tier release, they'll just push it back to next year or the year after or whatever. And I'm okay with that because between Breath of the Wild and some of the other games that are coming out for this system, have come out. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This guy is coming out this Tuesday. I mean, you have some games that have hundreds of hours of content. So what's the point,
I would have to agree. And that's why like you said, there probably will be delays in the background, but to me, you really can't count something as a delay if they haven't given you a release date
Exactly.
or to begin with. So if they say Xenoblade 2 is going to be holiday this year, I think it's going to be December. Truly, I think it
Yeah.
is. And
Yeah.
I honestly think it's going to be probably around the end of December because they want to give Mario Odyssey, which is going to be more like a November release. They want to give it a full month on the market with no competition.
Yeah, that sounds. I think Mario Odyssey is either going to be October or November, um, like maybe like October 28th or 27th, and then if they do October, it's going to be towards the end of October, and then they'll give it that month, and then your Christmas game like December 12th, December 11th will be if Xenoblade 2 drops, Xenoblade 2, and then you know from there on, therefore, that'll be your Christmas title, which makes sense because that game is going to have a lot of content.
Yeah, very, very true. But honestly, people, if you have a Switch or you're considering buying one, I will say this: it's a system you can feel confident in right now. Confidence because I have one. You can feel confident, and we've been getting a steady stream of games from launch. Even games that probably were not scheduled to come to the system have come to the system most of the time the same date as it has for the platforms. Like I honestly believe Playgrounds probably wasn't even originally intended for the Switch, but with the success, they coded and got it out there. Look at Snake Pass. That game was up and running in 2 weeks. So it's kind of like we're getting games. You may not have your 2K yet. You may not have your Madden and your Call of Duty if we get that. But let me tell you, you really don't need them. They're going to be coming, but you don't need them. I'm hoping Sony has something to show this E3 besides, because what was it, last year, the year before, they actually announced DLC, which I thought was the dumbest thing in the world. But I hope we get something outside of Horizon DLC or something like that. I hope it's something new. I hope it's more than just a whole bunch of Call of Duty content trailers that's exclusive or PlayStation's getting it first.
Well, they're probably going to do that.
I hope it's more than that.
I'm just saying.
But my thing is, and of course, I'm hoping Microsoft's been holding back, and now they're going to come with the games.
That's what they need to do. Like Microsoft with their Xbox One, they need to come out. Not Xbox, Scorpio, and say game. I mean, that's what they would do in a perfect world. But I don't think they're going to do that. What I think they're going to do is they're going to say, they're going to talk about how powerful. Like if they talk about the games, to be like, we could only do this game with the power of the Xbox Scorpio, or whatever name they're going to come out with for it. Like that's what I think they're going to do. And I mean, I hate that.
Same here, man. But I really do want Microsoft to come with it because they dropped the ball this past year when they canceled Scalebound, and they've been talking about controllers but not games. And to me, controllers are cool. I appreciate them, but at the same time, I don't buy a whole bunch of controllers, and I want games to play on my console. I have over 30 to 40 Xbox One games, and a lot of them are, not most of them, but I have most of the exclusives for that system. But I'm just simply telling you, like, they need to bring some games. And I hope they do, because what was it? Was it E3 2015 where it was just nothing but games from them? It was just game after game after game that they announced.
Yeah. With Microsoft, I just hope whatever they do, I hope they don't. I really don't want to hear from them a 30, 40, 50-minute presentation where all they do is talk about specs and power. Because people don't care about that. People want to know if you want to sell people on the system, tell them how much it costs, what and why, what is it going to do that's going to make it unique and different from its competitors, which is its competitor is the PS4 Pro, okay, and PC. I can tell you right now, whatever the system is not going to outperform a high-end gaming PC. So you just take that, you can take that argument and shove it in the garbage. It's probably going to, is it going to do something unique that's better than the PS4 Pro? I don't know. I mean, if they're going with the 4K route, I mean, either way, it suffers. Microsoft's new system is going to suffer from the same issue that the PS4 Pro does. If you're talking 4K, it doesn't matter if you don't have a 4K TV. Okay, so that's a moot argument. It's a not even. It's the wrong word. It's baseless. It's a baseless argument. So, I mean, I don't know. Anyone have any other topics they want to bring up before we wrap things up? Anything. Because we hit. Oh shoot! We're forgetting the third parties, but a lot of their stuff is going to be covered by Microsoft and Sony.
Very true.
Well, I mean, I would say the PC show, but the PC show always kind of feels like it's getting sloppy seconds from from stuff that Sony and Microsoft show. So they're going to be like, it's on PC. So any other topics anyone wants to bring up before we wrap things up? Anything? Gaming, news of the week?
No, not at all.
All right.
At least not yet. But of course, as we get closer, you know, the madness is going to ensue online.
All right. Well then, gentlemen, I guess it's time to wrap things up. Pimp out whatever you want to pimp out, and then we'll Well, I'll
go ahead and go first.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Dr. Feel Good. I'm sorry I was helping the wife, cook and stuff like that. Glad to be here. It's been a while, and I'm loving the new time slot you chose, which is on Sundays. I can definitely make it on Sundays more times than not. So yeah, be sure to check out my 2 new videos I did recently. I think it was 2, and I have 2 more I'll be uploading today. I think one's called Fun versus Fidelity, and I can't recall what the other one was, but be sure to check those out. They'll be uploaded to YouTube and VidMe. If you have a VidMe account, go ahead and check it out. Be sure to follow me on there. I'm trying to get to 50 followers so I can apply. They had the limits taken off, the restrictions, which I think is BS, but I understand why. But, other than that, as I always say, keep it gaming.
All right. Kenoshi?
I don't really have anything to plug, except check out Semper. It's a good game. That's it.
All right. This is Mr. Red Fox here with another episode of BS Busters. New time slot. Same BS Busters, new time slot. Hopefully we'll get some more people in next week who can join us. Dr. Feelgood, maybe Liger, maybe Quan Manchu, maybe Yin Yang Yao, a.k.a. Jewel Rider Moonstar. All are welcome, and the welcome is good. Mr. Red Fox here. I should have some content coming out next week. Just been busy. Work and school have been kicking my arse, but we'll try and get some good stuff out here. So look forward to that. And with that, I bid you a good day and a good night.